Temperatures remain frigid around Milwaukee this week as snow continued to fall, but the Golden Eagles only got hotter as Jimmy Butler continued to make game-winning shots fall.
5 seconds. Butler driving. And did he have it stripped? He got it. Oh, he hit it! Jimmy Butler had it stripped, got it back, throws up a prayer, and the Golden Eagles escape in New York.
Second game winner of the year for Jimmy Butler.
We're taking you around the best eateries on Marquette's campus. This is the Broken Yoke.
And this is Marquette Basketball Weekly.
I kind of knew it was good. I'm really glad that they trust me to have the ball in that situation.
Welcome into Marquette Basketball Weekly. I am Brad Galli. This week we're taking you around campus to the best eating spots that students like to go to. This is the Broken Yoke, and it's become one of the most popular places around on game days. But of late, the Golden Eagles have been on the road and they've been tearing it up. We've got interviews coming your way with Joe Fultz, Chris Otule, and Rob Frozina. But first, let's check out the primetime player of the week.
Lazar Hayward had a clutch final 10 minutes against Cincinnati on Sunday, but it was his good friend and teammate Jimmy Butler who capped off yet another remarkable comeback, this time against St. John's, and earned this week's primetime player of the week. Here's what he told our Todd Warner in Queens, New York, right after the game.
I kind of knew it was good. The thing is, I do stuff like that all the time. I'm like, Zar, I'm like, Zar, watch this, I bet you can't do this. Just being a kid, messing around, and I make him. He's like, man, you're the best person alive. And everybody wants to shoot game-like shots. Well, okay. And so, when it comes down to a possession like that, you never know what's going to happen. He hit the ball loose, off balance, not squared up, and just turned and let it go.
Now as we take a look at the Golden Eagles' tournament resume, they sit at 18-9 overall. You see that 9-6 Big East record. Their RPI right now 58 because of the strength of schedule and non-conference play, hindering their chances just a little bit. But winning is the key, and right now that's all the Golden Eagles are doing. For more on the emergence of Jimmy Butler into a superstar and his chances at winning the Big East's Most Improved Player of the Year, here's Chris Gaulke.
Before the 2009-2010 Marquette basketball season began, many preseason polls had them finishing in the lower half of the conference. Now with just 3 conference games remaining, they sit in 5th place tie as they've won 7 of their last 8 conference games. And Jimmy Butler believes it's all due to them playing as a team.
We know each other and we're sharing the ball a lot more. In Pitt, we didn't do that as much, so we took that L. But in a lot of other games, we're playing for each other. We're doing everything for each other. On defense, if somebody gets beat, somebody else is there. On offense, we're driving and kicking until we not only get a good shot, but we get a great shot. And we work on that in practice, before practice, during practice, after practice. It's never about one person. It's always about all 5 of us that are out there on the floor.
A large part of the success Marquette has seen so far this season can be attributed to the play of Jimmy Butler. During this recent string of wins for Marquette, Butler has led them in scoring in 4 of those 8 games, and he feels that his success this season is directly related to what he did in the offseason.
My biggest goal was to, be more effective, be more productive on both ends of the floor. And I think so far that I've done that, but I think I did pretty good this offseason. Confidence came a lot. I got a lot more confidence on the offensive and defensive end, and I'm just happy the results that I got out of this past offseason.
That work in the offseason is paying dividends on the court, as Butler is averaging over 9 points more a game than he did last year, and having that combined with his clutch play that has led to a pair of wins for Marquette has Butler in the mix for the Most Improved Player in the Big East.
If I am the Most Improved Player, I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, I'd be very excited, but I'm not really worried about a title and things right now. We're still worried about winning games, and trying to get these seniors to the NCAA tournament again. That title is really the last thing that's in my mind right now.
Jimmy Butler has improved immensely since last season, and whether or not he wins the Big East Most Improved Player of the Year will not take away from what he's accomplished this season. But with the season not over yet, he still has chances to improve right here. Reporting from Milwaukee, Chris Gaulke, MUTV Sports.
We're with Tim Blair, co-founder of CrackedSidewalks.com and 1991 graduate of Marquette. Now, Tim, how did you get this site started?
We started about 5 years ago with a fellow graduate from 1992, and it was just when blogging was beginning, we thought it would be a great complement to the message boards and something to add to the Marquette basketball community.
What's your favorite part about doing this site?
It just encourages you to really follow the team. In a lot of ways, it's made, at least me and I think my co-bloggers would say, you really become much more intense fans. You tend to pay a lot of attention to what's going on, and that makes the really good times a lot of fun, and this has been a great 5 years for Marquette basketball, obviously.
What's your specific job for this website?
We don't really have specific jobs. We don't have an editorial structure. We're sort of a loose federation of about a half dozen contributors. We don't schedule anything. It's really sort of we post when the content presents itself or when we have an interesting idea.
Do you consider this a job, or is this just like an extra activity that you like to do since you love Marquette basketball?
Well, we always joke we'd love to have an IPO, but none of us are actually willing to put in the time. It's purely for a hobby, and it's a great time. And in some ways, it's good just sort of keep your writing chops in a non-professional way. It's a really nice time. It's also a great way to stay connected to Marquette.
Joe False, we interviewed him on Monday at the Annex. He actually knows about Cracked Sidewalks. Do you think any of these players would know about that?
I have no idea. We don't actively solicit any of that. I mean, being an alum, kind of worried about NCAA stuff, but it's great that he does. I'm glad hopefully he actually reads it, and we try to be reasonably positive, but somewhat obviously independent, which we think is our advantage.
Tim Blair and his fellow college graduate of 1992 have created a phenomenal blog for Marquette basketball junkies. The name, however, comes from legendary Marquette basketball coach Al McGuire, with the famous quote saying, "My rule was that I wouldn't recruit a kid if he had grass in front of his house. That's not my world. My world was a cracked sidewalk." Reporting from Queens, New York, Todd Warner, MUTV Sports.
On November 23rd, Buzz Williams announced 6'10" center Chris Otule would likely be missing the remainder of the season after suffering a fractured right foot. Just a few weeks ago, Williams announced the sophomore would officially be redshirted, shut down for the year. No doubt a blow to the Texan big man who worked so hard this offseason to get minutes this year. For the first time since Buzz's most recent announcement, Otule talked with us about how he's dealing with the rehab, watching his teammates from the bench, and how his high spirits have aided him in getting through this tough time.
I think this injury was a little more serious than last year because last year we just let it heal, but this year I had to actually get surgery on it. So I never had surgery on any part of my body, so I didn't really know what to expect. But rehab's been going good. I've been working out with Ernest. Probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning before class. We just go do some exercise, some treatments, and my leg's feeling way better right now, so I'm happy about that.
Joe False was very candid in telling me that Chris is everyone's guy and he's a great teammate. The two Southerners live together, and Joe made it clear. Above all, number 42 spirits are what continue to keep him going.
That's my roommate. He's like my little brother, you know, and we talk every single day, and that's one thing about him that I know I would not have to worry about is his spirits getting low about this, is because, you know, we're all each other's crutch when someone's down or anything to pick each other back up. You know, and CO is a really big example on, you know, he's going to do whatever he can to contribute even though he can't play.
Yeah, he's always happy. He came into my class today, before class, and just like started shouting my name for no reason. So he's a happy guy. I don't get it.
I just always try to be positive with everything. With anything that goes on in my life, I just try to be positive towards it. And the same with injury. Even though I got hurt last year as well, I stayed positive to that one. I came back strong, and now that I got hurt again, I'm going to come back stronger next year.
Much was expected of Otule coming into this season. Many Marquette fans were just a little bit weary, though, of the virtually unknown big man stepping into a guard-filled lineup. But Buzz Williams constantly spoke of the physical and mental progression of his center, and after taking so many steps forward, Chris said it is difficult to take a step back.
It gets tough, you know, like when the guys are out there, you know, just having fun, like on the court, you know what I'm saying? You wish you could be out there, but being on the sideline and cheering them on is just as good too. A lot of the guys talking to me, Czar's always talking to me, telling me to stay positive. He's always in my head, as well as Bikes and Joe, they're always talking to me.
So after averaging about 4 points and 2 rebounds in MU's first 3 games, what is his role now with only 3 games left in the regular season?
My role, along with the other guys who sit with me on the bench, is just to give all the energy we can out there. When we're not doing so good, we just cheer them up, and when we're doing good, we make them feel good. Just a lot of energy on the bench. That's what Coach always tells us to give, and that's what we're going to give from here on out.
CO is just, I mean, that's everyone's guy. You know, he's a real good teammate, real good person to be around.
Chris Otule has been practicing at full speed with the team, and he told me this process is only going to help him get stronger for next season. You heard about what kind of things his teammates had to say about his spirit, and I'll tell you what, Chris has got a big heart, and you should definitely be rooting for him come next season. All right, we're heading to break, and after that break, we're going to hear about Joe False's recent emergence and what the guys say Rob Frozina does better than anyone else on this team. Angelo's Pizza. Pretty classic. Stay with Marquette Basketball Weekly.